What if I told you that most people today are not broken by failure, but by comfort? We scroll, we complain, we wait for life to be easy, and then wonder why we feel weak and lost. Here's the brutal truth. Comfort is killing your strength. But the Stoics, they trained for storms, betrayal, pain, and came out unshakable. This video will give you 8 brutal Stoic laws to rewire your mind and become mentally unbreakable. Part 1. Seek discomfort. Daily, what if I told you the very thing you avoid, pain, failure, and discomfort, is your greatest opportunity for power? Most people spend their lives avoiding anything uncomfortable. They choose comfort and then wonder why they feel weak. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest leaders, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not just a quote, it's a law of nature. Main story. We live in the safest, most convenient era in history. Hot showers, fast food, entertainment on demand. Yet anxiety and depression are at all-time highs. The World Health Organization reports 1 in 8 people globally suffer from anxiety disorders, and 280 million live with depression. Why? Because constant comfort kills resilience. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. They didn't avoid hardship, they trained for it. Marcus Aurelius led Rome through war and plague, yet stayed calm. Seneca deliberately practiced discomfort, sleeping on the floor, eating the cheapest food, to prove that he could handle life when luxury vanished. Science backing modern research supports this. A 2019 Stanford University study showed voluntary discomfort practices like cold exposure or fasting increased stress resilience by 32% and lowered anxiety symptoms by 23%. Stress is like weightlifting. Controlled exposure builds strength. Example, modern Stoic. Sarah, a corporate executive, started her day with a cold shower and a 5-minute meditation before checking her phone. She reported higher focus, fewer emotional breakdowns, and felt ready for any challenge at work. Her mantra, "Comfort is nice, but discomfort makes me unbreakable." Practical exercise. 1. Take one discomfort challenge daily. Cold shower, tough conversation, early wake up. 2. Journal the feelings before and after. 3. After 7 days, review. How much stronger do you feel? Famous Stoic quotes. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius call to action and transition comment. This affirmation, discomfort is my training ground. Share this video with someone who avoids challenge but craves strength. And stay tuned because next we'll tackle something even harder. Mastering your emotions before they master you. Part 2, Master Your Emotions. What if I told you that the strongest people in history weren't the ones who conquered nations, but the ones who conquered themselves? Think about it. You can win every argument, earn millions, have fame and power, but if one rude comment or a traffic jam can destroy your day, are you really free? Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the greatest Stoic teachers, warned us, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by them. Why this matters? Now we live in an emotionally explosive world. One tweet, one online comment, one bad look from someone, and boom, people snap. The American Psychological Association, 2023, reports that 74% of adults felt overwhelmed by their emotions at least once in the past month. That means 3 out of 4 people lose control regularly, not because of disasters, but often because of small triggers. Stoic perspective. The Stoics didn't try to kill emotions. They mastered them. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, illness, and war, yet he wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Emotions are signals, not commands. Anger might signal injustice, fear might signal risk, but you decide how to respond. Real story, the 24-hour rule. A CEO I know used what he called the 24-hour rule. When something triggered him, a nasty email, a rude employee, he wouldn't respond immediately. He waited 24 hours, cooled down, and almost always realized his first reaction would have made things worse. This rule, rooted in Stoic thinking, saved him from lawsuits, broken relationships, and bad decisions. Science backs Stoicism. Neuroscience shows when we pause before reacting, we activate the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, instead of letting the amygdala, emotional alarm system, hijack us. A UCLA study found that labeling emotions, I feel angry, reduced amygdala activity and stress levels by up to 30%. Practical Stoic habits. 1. Pause and breathe. When triggered, inhale 4 seconds, exhale 6. This shifts your body from fight or flight to calm control. 2. Label the emotion. Say out loud or in your head, I feel anger or I feel fear. This creates distance between you and the feeling. 3. Ask, is this useful? If the emotion leads to action aligned with your values, use it. If not, let it go. Exercise the emotion journal. For 7 days, track what triggered you. What emotion did you feel? How did you respond? How could you respond differently next time? After a week, you'll see patterns and opportunities to choose wiser responses. Famous Stoic quotes. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. He who angers you conquers you. Elizabeth Kenny. Not Stoic, but resonates with Stoic thinking. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, modern application. Example, meet Anna, a nurse during the pandemic. She faced verbal abuse from frustrated patients daily. At first, she'd cry after every shift. After studying Stoicism, she adopted one mantra: their anger is theirs, my peace is mine. Within weeks, her emotional resilience skyrocketed. She stopped personalizing attacks and started responding calmly, saving her mental health and improving patient care. Key lesson: emotion is information, not identity. Feel it, but don't obey it. When you master your emotions, no one, not an insult, not traffic, not a rude boss, can control your inner state. That's real freedom. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation: I am the master of my emotions, not their prisoner. Like and share this video with someone who overreacts often. They need this. And stay tuned, because in the next law, we'll crush one of life's biggest myths, the expectation of fairness, and why letting it go makes you unstoppable. Part 3, expect injustice, respond with strength. What if I told you that one of the fastest ways to suffer is to expect life to be fair? Think about it. You work hard and someone lazier gets promoted. You love deeply and they leave you. You do everything right and still, life hits you hard. Here's the truth that the Stoics embraced. Fairness is a myth created by humans, not a promise of life. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome who saw betrayal, war, and corruption daily, wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." Even he, the most powerful man of his time, couldn't make life fair. But he didn't break. He built strength. Why this matters: we are raised on stories that promise fairness. Work hard and you'll succeed. Do good and good things will come back. But reality? It doesn't always work like that. A Harvard Business Review survey 2022 showed 54% of employees felt workplace promotions were unfair. A Pew Research study 2021 found 42% of people believe they give more in relationships than they receive. If you expect fairness, you're preparing to be disappointed, constantly, and disappointment is a choice. The Stoic Approach. The Stoics didn't expect fairness. They expected reality. They assumed pain, betrayal, loss, and injustice were part of life. And because they expected it, they were ready. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And Epictetus taught, "Do not seek for everything to happen as you wish it, but wish for everything to happen as it actually does, and your life will flow well." Modern story. David's turning point. David worked for 12 years at a company, expecting loyalty and recognition. Instead, a younger, less experienced coworker got promoted over him. At first, David was furious, ready to quit on the spot. But after studying Stoicism, he wrote in his journal, Life is not fair, but I am strong. Instead of staying angry, he improved his skills, expanded his network, and within 1 year landed a better job with double the pay. The promotion he thought he deserved became irrelevant because he outgrew the injustice. Science and psychology. Psychologists call this mental shift cognitive reframing, seeing events differently. A 2020 study in psychological science found that people who quickly accept negative events and refocus on action recover from emotional setbacks 38% faster than those who dwell on fairness. Expecting injustice actually reduces stress because nothing surprises you. You stop saying, "This shouldn't happen," and start asking, "How will I respond?" Practical Stoic habits. 1. Morning reminder. Each day say, "Today I may face rudeness, betrayal, or unfairness, but none of it will steal my strength." Inspired by Marcus Aurelius's morning meditation ritual. 2. Reframe injustice. When something unfair happens, write down one positive action you can take immediately. 3. Ask, who do I want to be in this moment? Focus on your character, not the outcome. Exercise the unfair moment drill. Write down one recent unfair experience. List what's outside your control, other people's decisions, and what's inside your control, your response, your next step. Commit to one small, powerful action you can take today. Do this for a week and notice how much faster you move from anger to action. Famous Stoic quotes. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. Marcus Aurelius. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Seneca. Modern example. Athletes' mindset. Athletes often deal with injustice, bad referees, biased judging, injuries at the worst time. The best ones don't cry about fairness, they adapt. Michael Jordan famously said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." While not a Stoic, this aligns with Stoic mindset. Key lesson: fairness is optional, but strength is your choice. You don't need a fair world to thrive. You need courage, resilience, and focus on what you can control. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation: I choose strength over fairness. Share this with someone stuck in resentment. It might change their life. Because next we're diving into the Stoic superpower, focusing only on what you can control and letting go of everything else. Part 4, control. What you can, release what you can't. Have you ever felt powerless, like life was spinning out of control? Maybe it was a market crash wiping out your savings, a relationship ending without warning, or one bad decision by someone else that ruined months of effort. The Stoics saw this clearly over 2,000 years ago. Their answer? Stop wasting energy on what you can't control and master what you can. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This is not just philosophy, it's a formula for freedom. Why this is urgent today. We live in a world of constant noise and chaos. Political arguments, stock market swings, social media opinions. A 2023 American Institute of Stress survey found 83% of people feel stress about things completely outside their control, like the economy or other people's choices. This constant worry drains mental energy, leaving people anxious and exhausted. The Stoic solution is brutally simple. Your sphere of control, your thoughts, actions, habits, and character. Everything else, opinions, weather, traffic, economy, other people's behavior. When you focus only on what's yours, you take back your power. Historical example, Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius ruled during wars, plagues, and betrayal. He couldn't control the plague sweeping Rome, nor the opinions of angry senators, but he focused on leadership decisions within his power, supporting the sick, reorganizing food supply, and writing meditations to keep his own mind strong. His calm leadership saved thousands of lives. Why? Because he didn't waste time screaming at things beyond his reach. Modern story, Sarah's breakthrough. Sarah, a small business owner, was losing sleep over online reviews and competitors. She couldn't control them, but she obsessed over every negative comment. After reading about Stoicism, she made a 2-column list. 1. What I control: product quality, customer service, marketing effort. 2. What I don't control: competitors' actions, customer mood, economic trends. Within 3 months, her anxiety dropped by 40%, and revenue actually increased because she invested energy where it mattered. Science supports Stoicism. A Yale University study 2020 found focusing on controllable actions increased dopamine, motivation, and lowered cortisol, stress, by 32%. Simply shifting focus changes brain chemistry, making you calmer and more productive. Practical Stoic habits. 1. Morning focus. Write down 3 things you can control today, e.g., your effort, your reactions, your kindness. 2. Trigger. Check. When upset, ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go. 3. Evening reflection. Note one moment you let go of something outside your control and how it felt. Exercise. The circle of control drill. Draw 2 circles, inner circle, everything you control, decisions, mindset, habits. Outer circle, everything you don't, weather, politics, people's approval. Commit to focusing 90% of your time and energy on the inner circle for 1 week. Famous Stoic quotes. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some are not. Epictetus. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Man is disturbed not by things, but by the view which he takes of them. Epictetus, modern application. Crisis leadership. During the 2020 pandemic, some leaders panicked, trying to control impossible things like global infection rates. Others focused on what they could: protecting employees, building remote systems, keeping communication transparent. Those companies recovered faster because leaders didn't waste energy on the uncontrollable. Key lesson. You can't control the storm, but you can control your ship. When you let go of what's beyond you and focus on what's within, life becomes lighter, calmer, and more powerful. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation: I control what I can and release what I can't. Share this with someone overwhelmed by things they can't change. It could bring them peace. Because next we'll dive into a powerful practice the Stoics use to build unbreakable willpower. Voluntary hardship. Choosing discomfort today so chaos doesn't destroy you tomorrow. Part 5. Practice voluntary hardship. What if I told you that one of the fastest ways to build an unbreakable mind is to make life harder, on purpose? Sounds crazy, right? But for the Stoics, this wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Seneca, one of the most practical Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" They didn't wait for life to get hard. They trained for it ahead of time. Why it matters today. Modern life is comfortable. Climate-controlled homes, endless food delivery, entertainment at the touch of a button. And yet, anxiety and depression are at record highs. Why? Because comfort makes us soft. A 2022 CDC report found 37% of young adults feel overwhelmed by basic life challenges. Why? Because they've never trained for hardship. The Stoics believe controlled difficulty, voluntary hardship, creates resilience. If you practice being uncomfortable on your own terms, life's surprises won't break you. Historical example. Seneca's minimalism. Seneca would sleep on the floor, eat the cheapest food, and wear simple clothes to test himself. Why? So that when real hardship came, he was ready, physically and mentally. His wealth and comfort didn't own him, he owned himself. Modern story. Jake's transformation. Jake, a software engineer, once had a panic attack after losing his job because he had never faced real difficulty. After studying Stoicism, he started practicing voluntary hardship. Cold showers every morning, 24-hour fasts once a week. Physical challenges like running in the rain. 3 months later, his stress resilience skyrocketed. He told me, "Now losing a job wouldn't scare me. I know I can endure discomfort. I'm free." Science agrees. A University of Michigan study, 2019, found that mild intentional hardship, like cold exposure or fasting, reduced baseline stress by 25% and improved problem solving under pressure by 32%. Controlled discomfort rewires the brain to handle stress calmly. Practical Stoic hardships to try. 1. Cold showers. Start with 30 seconds cold at the end of your shower. 2. Minimalist meals. Eat only simple food for one day. 3. Digital detox. Go 2 hours daily with no phone or entertainment. 4. Sleep on the floor. One night, skip your comfortable bed. 5. Physical challenge. Do one workout that pushes you beyond your comfort zone. These are not punishments. They're training sessions for your mind. Exercise. 7 days of chosen discomfort. Day 1, cold shower. Day 2, skip one meal. Day 3, sleep on the floor. Day 4, digital detox for 3 hours. Day 5, physical challenge workout. Day 6, wear only basic clothes. Day 7, walk in silence for 1 hour. No music, no phone. After 7 days, journal how your mind responded. Famous Stoic quotes. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca. We should every day call ourselves to account. Seneca. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Key lesson. Comfort makes you fragile. Hardship, when chosen, makes you anti-fragile. Voluntary hardship doesn't just toughen your body, it rewires your mind to face chaos with calm. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation. I choose discomfort to build strength. Share this with someone who avoids every challenge. They need this mindset. Next, we'll learn how Stoics handled success and failure with equal calm by detaching from outcomes and loving the process itself. Part 6. Detach from outcomes, love the process. What if I told you the secret to success isn't winning? It's letting go of winning. In a world obsessed with results, likes, followers, promotions, money, the Stoics saw something different. Peace and power come not from outcomes, but from how you show up. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." Translation: focus on your effort, not the result. Why this matters: modern society worships results. Fail a startup? You're labeled a failure. Don't get 1,000 likes? People assume you're irrelevant. But here's the truth. Outcomes are unpredictable. Markets change, people shift, timing fails. If your happiness depends on results, you're emotionally fragile. A Stanford study, 2021, found that people focused solely on outcomes experience 52% more stress and 41% lower life satisfaction compared to those focused on the process. The Stoic solution. The Stoics taught, your effort is yours, the outcome is not. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you detach from outcomes, you stop chasing validation and start building mastery. Modern story, Alex the artist. Alex, an artist, used to post online for approval, counting likes, stressing over sales. After studying Stoicism, he flipped his mindset. Paint for mastery, not for metrics. Result? His art improved, his anxiety dropped, and ironically, sales went up. Why? Because when you love the process, your work carries authenticity and people feel it. Practical Stoic habits. 1. Process goals, not outcome goals. Instead of, I must win the deal, choose, I will make 5 high-quality presentations. 2. Detach ritual. After any task, say, I did my best, the rest is not mine. 3. Daily reflection. Ask, did I show up with discipline and integrity today? Not, did I win? Exercise, the effort journal. For 1 week, write down your daily key efforts, not results. At the end of each day, Give yourself credit simply for showing up fully. Notice the stress reduction and increase in consistency. Famous Stoic quotes. The man who has practiced philosophy as a cure for himself becomes accustomed to the thought of misfortune and to await the future without fear. Seneca. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius key lesson. Detachment is not laziness. It's clarity. When you stop obsessing over what you can't control, you free energy to dominate what you can. Effort, character, learning. And ironically, the people who care less about the outcome often outperform those who obsess over it. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation. I love the process, not the applause. Share this video with someone crushed by external validation. It might free them. Next, we'll explore a powerful perspective that gives life urgency and meaning, remembering death, Momento Mory, and how it fuels purposeful living. Part 7. Remember death. Live with urgency. What if I told you the most powerful motivation doesn't come from success, fame, or money, but from remembering death? The Stoics had a phrase for this. Memento Mori, remember you will die. At first it sounds dark, but for them, it was fuel to live with urgency and purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Why this changes everything. Most people live like they have endless time. They delay dreams, hold grudges, scroll away hours, and say, someday. But someday is a myth. According to the World Health Organization, the global average lifespan is 73 years, about 27,000 days. If you're 30, you have about 15,000 days left. That's not depressing, it's empowering. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Modern story. Mark's wake-up call. Mark, a busy lawyer, ignored his passion for music, always saying, "I'll start when life slows down." A car accident nearly killed him, and suddenly, later wasn't guaranteed. He picked up his guitar the next day, started performing on weekends, and said, "Almost dying taught me how to live." How to apply Memento Mori. 1. Morning reminder. Write one sentence daily. If today were my last day, how would I show up? 2. Declutter your life. Remove activities and relationships that waste time or drain purpose. 3. Do one bold thing. Take one step toward a dream or tough conversation you've been delaying. Exercise the 24-hour challenge. Imagine you only had 24 hours left. List what you would stop doing and what you would start doing immediately. Then take one of those start doing actions today. Key lesson. Memento Mori isn't about fearing death. It's about fearing a wasted life. Remembering that time is limited removes hesitation, kills procrastination, and makes you live with clarity and urgency. Call to action and transition. Comment this affirmation. I live today with purpose because tomorrow is not promised. Share this with someone stuck in someday mode. It might wake them up. Next, we'll explore the final Stoic law, choosing virtue over approval, and why living for values makes you unstoppable. Part 8. Choose virtue over approval. What if I told you that true freedom comes not from being liked, but from being principled? In a world where people chase likes, followers, and external validation, the Stoics gave us a hard truth. Approval fades, but character stays. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." Why this is revolutionary. Most people live as performers, constantly adjusting their actions to get praise or avoid criticism. Social media amplifies this. People post not for expression, but for approval. But Stoicism says, live for virtue, not applause. Virtue is moral excellence, honesty, courage, self-discipline, justice. When you act according to virtue, you're unshakable, even if no one notices. Seneca said, "I shall govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other." That's integrity, doing right when no one is watching. Modern story, Emily's decision. Emily, a financial analyst, discovered her company was covering up losses. Reporting it would risk her job and reputation. Many told her to stay quiet, But she chose honesty and blew the whistle. She lost her position but gained self-respect and later a role in a more ethical company. She said, "I stopped chasing approval and started chasing what was right. I've never slept better." Science supports virtue. Harvard research on moral integrity 2021 found that people who consistently act according to values, even under social pressure, report 32% higher life satisfaction and less anxiety than those who constantly seek external validation. Practical Stoic habits. 1. Daily virtue. Check. Ask each morning, what is the right thing to do, even if no one applauds? 2. Integrity. Over image. Choose one small action daily where you act ethically, even if it costs approval, e.g., admitting a mistake, saying no to gossip. 3. Reflect at night. Did I compromise my values today for approval? If yes, how can I do better tomorrow? Exercise. The virtue compass. Write down your top 3 values, e.g., honesty, kindness, courage. For 1 week, review every major decision and ask, am I honoring these values or am I chasing approval? Famous Stoic quotes. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. A good character once established is not easily overthrown. Seneca. Key lesson. Approval is fleeting, virtue is permanent. When you choose virtue over applause, you become internally free, unshaken by criticism, immune to flattery, and rooted in self-respect. Call to action in closing. Comment this affirmation: I choose virtue, not applause. Share this with someone who constantly seeks validation. They need this truth. And remember, don't live for likes, live for values. Because when the applause stops, your character is what remains. Outro, final summary, and call to action. Final summary. You've just learned 8 brutal Stoic laws to rewire your mind and become mentally unbreakable. 1. Seek discomfort daily. Train your resilience through chosen challenges. 2. Master your emotions. Respond, don't react, and reclaim your inner peace. 3. Expect injustice. Respond with strength. Stop waiting for fairness and build power within. 4. Control what you can, release what you can't. Focus on your sphere of control and let go of the rest. 5. Practice voluntary hardship. Strengthen your will before life tests you. 6. Detach from outcomes. Love the process. Work for mastery, not applause. 7. Remember death. Live with urgency. Let Momento Mory fuel your purpose and eliminate procrastination. 8. Choose virtue over approval. Live for your values, not validation. These aren't just ideas. They're battle-tested principles used by warriors, leaders, and thinkers for over 2,000 years. When life hits, and it will, these laws will keep you calm, focused, and unshakable. Inspiration. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The world may be chaotic, unfair, and unpredictable, but you can be steady, resilient, and free. If this video gave you even one insight that could change how you live, don't just keep it to yourself. Comment below your favorite Stoic law and how you'll apply it today. Share this video with someone who needs more mental resilience. Subscribe to this channel because every week we bring you Stoic philosophy, practical self-improvement, and real tools to help you thrive in a chaotic world. And remember, strength isn't given. It's built one decision at a time. Start today. Live with courage, with clarity, and with purpose.